Well, clearly, once again, YouTube hates me. Though I guess I can forgive it this time because this is a totally justified thing. What's going on is that, well, this is my 20th LP, and as such, well, I made a playlist for each of my LPs, and I also made a playlist for my reading of Metroid High, as I'm going to get through this guy, finally, who blocked the path before I obtained the badge. I think I'm gonna fight him, though. Is that the case? Yep. So, yeah, what I was saying is that with that, I now have 21 playlists, and there's a list on my channel's main page that can display up to 20 playlists, so I had to choose which one would have to go. So I had three choices. Either it was the Metroid High reading, which I don't want to get rid of it just yet. Well, the display of the playlist, that is, I can have as many playlists as I want, but I can only display 20 on the front page. So I don't want to give that the axe quite yet because I really enjoy how it turned out. I could also get rid of Pokémon Red since it's my oldest LP, but Pokemon is kind of my main thing, so yeah, I don't really want to do that. So what I decided to do was go with the third choice of getting rid of both of my Sonic Game Gear LPs. You can still watch them, you can still find their playlists, but you can no longer access the playlists from the channel's front page. So if you use that list in order to navigate through my LPs, well, you can't use that list anymore. But of course, at the bottom there's a link where you can view all the playlists, so yeah, it's really not that much of an issue. You know, just in case you really want to see those LPs again, I decided to do away with them because, well, I did them on my first month of LPing, and let's just say that there aren't many LPers out there that can manage to show some skill on their first month of Let's Play. So, yeah, that's where these have gone, just in case you're crazy enough to want to watch them. And Interruption! Oh my goodness! This is Interruption the Game. I'm really thinking about changing the titles of these videos to just Let's Play Interruption the Game. But anyway, what Sharon is saying here, rather useful. There's this darker tall grass where sometimes you'll enter a wild double battle, and even if you don't, typically the Pokemon that are in there have a much higher level than those that are in just regular old grass. And just got Pecha Berries in order to help with the battle at the Verbank gym, since this is a poison gym. And yeah, Sharon sure knows a lot, and he fought the Team Plasma thugs. Well, he didn't really do a whole lot, to be honest. I'm going to get stronger than him? So that means right now you're not as strong as him, meaning he kicked your ass back at the gym, right? Ah, that Hugh. You are just such a horrible rival. Anyway, heading over there, we have another preschooler. I wonder if, you know, in the Pokemon world, apparently turning something like, 10 means you're allowed to start your Pokemon adventure, and it's sort of implied that you can't have Pokemon if you're younger than that, so how come preschoolers have Pokemon? Of course, this is probably not an inconsistency at all, and just me not being very versed in actual Pokemon canon, so it's probably just as simple as that, me just misunderstanding that. But enough about me making a fool of myself. Something that I wanted to plug, in the latest issue of The Smog, there was one article that I found really funny, and I wanted to share it with you. Basically, it's some guy who takes a bunch of overused Pokemon, but he gives them, like, the absolute worst sets that one can give them. Well, maybe not the absolute worst sets, but really crappy sets nonetheless that would never ever work in a real battle. And then he takes these Pokemon and takes it to a Pokemon Showdown, and well, I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but it's freaking hilarious. I'm gonna put a link in the movie description. This is just amazing, and I'm sort of surprised this made it to print, because this is the kind of stuff that, judging from personal experience, the Smogon higher-ups hate with a passion. Then again, this isn't the first time that the Smog does something differently, because, well, a lot of writers on the Smog lately have come out saying that they really should get rid of Rain. So come on, your own writers of your own magazine, they're telling you, get rid of that shit! And you're still not listening. I don't know if they've just given up and are just waiting for X and Y to come out, but still, it's something that I would really like to see. Oh man, this thing's got rollout and it's really bulky to boot. It's got a pretty Dunsparce has a pretty high stat total for a Pokemon at this point in the game. Of course, nothing as crazy as Whitney's Miltank, but still, rollout on a fire starter hurts like a motherfucker, especially since it has the time, for it to get stronger and stronger. Fortunately, it didn't get killed, but I don't think I could have taken another one to the face and lived, unless of course it missed, which it has a 10% chance of doing. So, I think that this is the last trainer we can take on this route, because I remember on this route there's a pair of twins that will not fight you unless you have two Pokemon. So, oh, they're right there, so I'm going to show you one Pokemon all alone, but it'll be sad. Well, more for it, I guess. I'm pretty confident that Tepig could take them out on its own, but we're going to do something about these probably next time, because I have something planned for that. And yeah, I'm hearing something about Audino. I wonder why they give so many experience points. Well, this is just because the programming says so. I don't think there's a lore-based reason for that. And yeah, once again, everyone's looking at me the wrong way because I only have my Tepig with me. But, oh, I'm gonna get something from her, which is good because, well, she interrupted me again! So, Great Balls, 50% more effective than regular Pokeballs, but 3 times as costly, so these free ones are welcome. Interruption! God! And, oh, it's Mom. Probably taking advantage of a commercial break. Is it me, or commercial breaks are just getting longer and longer as the years go by? It's like nowadays, when I was a kid, they were like 2 minutes long, but it feels like they're double that amount nowadays. You can go have a drink, take a piss, come back, and do it all over again, and it's still not over. Anyway, nothing very interesting came out of that, so this is Burbank City, the city of the second Gym-In. Game! Please let me play you! Please! Anyway, this is actually sort of important there, because we see a scene with the local gym leader, Roxy, and her dad, who wants to go off to become a movie star. But the problem is, he's the captain of the ship that goes between Burbank and Castelia. And it's the only link between the two cities. And he's too much of a moron to realize why that would be a problem, while it's not as much of a problem if Roxy can be both a band member and a gym leader. How did he get the job of captain again? Freaking dumbass. But yeah, it seems like the apple fell far from the tree in this case. And Roxy is actually somewhat intelligent enough to comprehend the problems that her father is causing, that is. So I'm just going to heal my Tepig real quick, because it really took a lot of damage against that Dunsparce. I guess that's the point in the game where they don't hesitate anymore in throwing super effective attacks at you. Let's talk to Mr. Metal, see if he's got any medals for us. Well, which is the case. Otherwise, he just won't appear when you enter the Pokemon Center. So, Dowsing Beginner, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's because of that hidden item I got near the entrance to Bob Ranch. So, I got a few hint medals as well, but I'm not gonna bother showing them to you, because otherwise we're gonna be at it all day. Challenge poison types with poison types. Scratch what I said about Roxy being smart, because poison isn't weak to poison, only grass is. At least for the time being. Very important. Can't stress that enough. Let's try both. I'm gonna start with outside, and this is a series of questions. Well, let's try the thing nobody knows, and let's say you're very curious. That's it. Well, of course I was a fool to expect anything actually interesting to happen, and the opposite is being quite composed, apparently. Okay, here we go. So, the more gym badges you have, the more items you can buy at a shop. This is something that, as far as I know, only applies to this generation. In other generations, it depended on which town you were in, which is still sort of the case here. It's a mix of the two. Anyway, you just saw super potions, great balls, healing, status healing items, and there are also heal balls, which are completely useless, and net balls as well, which are on sale now that I have one badge. And over there, we have Pokestar Studios. We can't enter there right now, so we're gonna have to wait a little longer in order to go there. We're gonna have to do at least one movie as part of the main story, as I recall, but for the rest, it's going to wait until the bonus content is over. So yes, the number of Pokeballs we can put in our belt is 6, always been the case since Generation 1, and it's not likely that it'll change anytime soon. So, speaking of Pokestar Studios, fun little fact is that before this game came out, a lot of people, myself included, thought that Burbank City was going to connect with Driftvale City, since both are geographically very close together. I mean, go to the back of Pokestar Studios, chop 3 or 4 trees, and you're probably already at the fan service tournament. But no, it connects. Well, it doesn't really connect with Castelia since you have to take a boat, but it doesn't connect to Driftvale at all. Whoever did the planning for this is kind of crappy at his job, considering that, well, as we just saw, the only link between Burbank and Castelia is through the sea and through a dim-witted captain. So, yeah, definitely could have done a better job. And the battle box, to be quite honest with you, I'm not even sure what the battle box even does. So I can't even explain that to you. Wow, I feel so crappy now. So yeah, basically, well, I wouldn't exactly call the hint metal riddles, considering that, well, they're just, do this, do that, and you'll get a medal. But I guess there was one about there being a way behind you or in front of you or something like that. Of course, you can just look these up on the internet or get them completely by accident, either or. But yeah, this is the harbor where the captain is supposed to work, except he's slacking off because he's going through auditions to try and become a movie star. Okay, so these guys talk about some features of the sea gear, tag log, blah blah blah. Okay, and this one, okay, I was wondering if he said the same thing, but yeah, the Entralink improved a bit from the first game. I might show you the basics later on, but then again, maybe not. I guess it's going to depend on my mood, considering that, well, most of what the Entralink is worth, well, it's only really worth doing it when you're playing with others. So, yeah, the gym is right there. However, we won't go in there yet because, well, there's Burbank Complex just to the south of there, and as this guy said, you can catch a Magnemite there in order to help, since it's a poison-type gym, and Steel is, of course, immune to poison. And this is the second gym that has sort of a hard counter attributed to it. We had Riolu for the first one, and now Magnemite for the second one. I'm not going to be catching a Magnemite, however, I'm going to hold out for Electros later on in the game. And on the note of this guy giving you a recap of the events of the first game, in case you haven't played it or whatever. I'm going to end this video here. So, have a great day.